You begin by standing still. Not standing to look or to search or to solve. Just standing. Warm light rests around you like a thin blanket, and the ground beneath your feet feels steady, familiar, patient. Somewhere far away, there is a soft hum, the kind you barely notice until you realize it has always been there. Your breath moves in, then out, slow, unconcerned. The universe does not seem busy right now. It seems calm enough to listen. You find yourself at the edge of a shoreline that does not belong to any one world. It is a meeting place, a quiet border between what you already know and what you have only begun to sense. The ocean before you is not water exactly, yet it moves like water, arriving in slow, thoughtful waves. Each wave carries a story. Each retreat leaves a little more understanding behind. You breathe in again. The tide responds. For most of human history, this shore felt empty. The stars shone above, distant and bright, but their planets remained hidden, tucked close, silent, unwilling to announce themselves. You imagine them waiting, not shy, just unhurried. After all, the universe is very comfortable with waiting. It has had plenty of practice. The first signs come gently, a small dimming, a subtle wobble, the kind of change you might miss if you were blinking or thinking too loudly. You smile softly at this because it feels appropriate. Of course, other worlds would introduce themselves quietly. Loud entrances are overrated. Even Earth prefers sunsets to fireworks. You picture astronomers listening rather than staring, sensing rather than demanding. You picture instruments tuned like ears pressed to the ground, feeling vibrations rather than counting them. No numbers intrude here, only rhythm, only motion, only the idea that something unseen is passing in front of a distant light, again and again, faithful as a tide. Your breath stays slow. You realize that discovery, at its gentlest, feels less like conquest and more like recognition. As if the universe is saying, yes, you are ready to notice this now. The shoreline grows wider with each breath, and the water laps closer to your feet, cool but welcoming. The planets you are sensing do not glow with detail yet. They are silhouettes, suggestions, soft shadows moving across starlight. And still, even as shadows, they feel real. They feel present. You feel oddly reassured by that. Reality does not need to shout to exist. A small wave curls in, playful, and you imagine it carrying a tiny sign that reads, "By the way, you are not alone." The sign is written in very polite handwriting. The universe, it seems, has manners. You let your shoulders soften. You let your jaw loosen. The idea of other worlds does not feel overwhelming here. It feels expansive, like opening a window at night and realizing the air outside is cooler and kinder than you expected. As the tide continues its steady breathing, you sense how patient observation slowly reveals patterns. Not rules exactly, more like habits. Stars and planets develop relationships. They dance together, tugging gently, responding over long stretches of time. Nothing jerks. Nothing rushes. Even gravity prefers a slow conversation. You notice that your own breathing has begun to match the ocean's rhythm. This happens without effort. Bodies are very good at this kind of quiet cooperation. You inhale curiosity. You exhale tension. Somewhere in the distance, a wave laughs very softly. It might just be your imagination, but it feels friendly. The first confirmed worlds beyond your star do not arrive as full landscapes. They arrive as hints, as repeating patterns, as trustworthy whispers. You like this. It feels respectful, like being introduced to someone gradually, learning their presence before learning their details. You realize that this shoreline is not about answers. It is about permission. Permission to wonder. Permission to rest inside not knowing everything yet. The universe does not seem worried about being fully understood. It seems content to be approached slowly, with care. A warmer breeze moves past you now, carrying the faint suggestion of distant suns. Not their heat, just their existence. You imagine countless shorelines like this one, scattered across space, each waiting for a moment of attention, each perfectly fine if that moment takes a while to arrive. You chuckle quietly, Because it occurs to you that planets have been orbiting quite happily without an audience for a very long time. Fame, it turns out, is optional. The tide pulls back slightly, drawing thin lines in the sand that glow for a moment, then fade. Each line feels like a memory being written and gently erased. Discovery does not need to be permanent to be meaningful. Sometimes noticing is enough. You feel grounded, supported, curious, but not strained. This is how learning feels when it is allowed to be slow, when it is allowed to move at the speed of breath. In the distance, the ocean darkens, and the waves begin to carry different textures. Heavier, warmer, stranger. You do not approach yet. You simply notice. The shoreline remains solid beneath your feet. You take one more easy breath. As the tide gathers itself again, pulling water from faraway places, you sense that the next wave will feel different. Not dangerous, just unfamiliar. The ocean does not rush you toward it. It simply prepares, quietly, patiently, as another wave begins to form. You step gently onto the wet sand, letting your toes sink into the cool edge of the tide. It is different here. Not quieter, not louder, just textured. The waves carry an unusual rhythm, a subtle shift you feel in your chest and along your spine. The tide moves in its own careful cadence, and you notice that your breathing follows, without thought, without strain. The first strange waves are arriving. You watch as the water curls differently than before, carrying new sense of warmth and suggestion. They are not threatening waves. They are playful, curious, eager to show you something. You smile softly, feeling a delicate connection, a subtle invitation to observe without expectation. The ocean, as always, is patient. You lean slightly forward, eyes tracing the distant shimmer of starlight across the water. There, just beyond the gentle rise of foam, worlds begin to hint at themselves. Planets closer to their stars than your mind might imagine. Hot giants pressed near blazing suns, their presence revealed not by display, but by tiny changes, faint wobbles, delicate dimming, the merest suggestion of their existence. You inhale slowly, letting the understanding settle into your chest. This is how subtlety feels. Calm, unhurried, perfectly balanced. You notice the tide's new texture, thicker, warmer, more insistent, but never urgent. Each wave brings the sensation of heat brushing past your ankles, not scorching, but reminding you that presence can carry weight without aggression. You exhale, letting the warmth spread through your body, softening your shoulders, loosening your jaw. It is strange to think of worlds so close to fire, yet here you are, comfortable, safe, cradled by the rhythm of the ocean. A gentle, almost imperceptible laughter ripples through the tide. You imagine it as the universe's quiet humor, teasing softly, because planets have their own eccentricities. Some wobble in slow dances. Some hug their stars in patterns that defy expectation. The tide mirrors these movements, waves pulsing and folding like an attentive audience, applauding in invisible rhythms. You chuckle softly, a breathy sound that merges with the hum of the ocean. You shift your gaze to the shimmer near the horizon, noticing smaller, denser waves riding atop the main tide. These are the first strange planets detected, giants that confound expectation. You imagine their atmospheres stretching in elongated shapes, drifting under starlight like delicate silk banners. They move quietly, serenely, yet each ripple carries a story, a secret waiting for gentle attention. You inhale, savoring this knowledge, feeling it nestle comfortably in the hollow of your chest. Your feet press deeper into the sand as the tide curls around them, reminding you of your own steady heartbeat. This is not observation driven by urgency, but by curiosity. It is patience layered atop curiosity, wrapped in the warm, encompassing hum of the cosmos. In this moment, the universe does not demand that you understand fully. It only asks that you notice, that you breathe, that you exist alongside it. The waves shift again. A slight swell carries a subtle shimmer of color, barely perceptible, as if the ocean itself is blushing at the arrival of these unusual worlds. You lean back slightly, letting the rhythm of the tide match the rise and fall of your chest. In each breath synchronizes with the gentle folding of water, a slow, hypnotic dance. You feel as though you could stay here indefinitely, breathing alongside the universe, witnessing its quiet intricacies. You think of how planets reveal themselves in patterns that tease the senses rather than overwhelm them. There is no hurry in their movements, no insistence in their signals. Just repetition, subtlety, cadence. You imagine astronomers watching, listening, attuned to these gentle suggestions, learning the language of light and motion as one might learn the lilt of a new melody. The ocean's waves echo the rhythm of this learning, slow, deliberate, infinitely patient. Some waves carry hints of heat, brushing against your ankles and rising with the tide to touch your knees. The sensation is strange but soothing, a reminder that existence does not always conform to familiar templates. You imagine a giant world, wrapped close to its sun, shimmering with atmospheric currents that resemble liquid glass, swirling lazily in soft loops and eddies. You laugh quietly, imagining the planet twirling with a tiny, cosmic elegance, entirely indifferent to your attention, yet now subtly revealed. You exhale slowly, feeling your chest expand and release in harmony with the tides. This rhythm, repeated and reliable, becomes a soft anchor. The ocean's pulse and your own heartbeat merge into a lullaby of observation. You are aware that the planets themselves have no urgency, only quiet persistence. They orbit, they drift, they exist, and you, here, are allowed to witness without haste, without pressure, without the weight of needing to understand everything at once. A deeper wave approaches, warmer and slightly denser. You feel it brush against your legs and realize the ocean itself mirrors the peculiarities of the worlds it carries. Hot Jupiters, eccentric orbits, unexpected rotations, all reflected in the subtle play of currents, folds of foam, and glimmers of light across the water. The tide hums softly in response, a cosmic resonance that cradles your awareness and reminds you that strangeness is not threat. It is variety. It is nature's gentle expression. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the warmth and motion wash over you. Each exoplanet is a note in a slow, sprawling symphony. You do not need to hear every note clearly to feel the music. You inhale, sensing the harmony, and exhale, feeling your mind float lightly, like a leaf riding a calm wave. The strange planets do not rush. They do not compete. They simply are. And that is enough. Tiny bubbles of air rise around your ankles as the water shifts. You imagine them as cosmic punctuation marks, little winks from the universe to reassure you that curiosity is welcome, and that wonder need not be urgent. You chuckle softly, a light, private acknowledgement, and feel your shoulders sink further into calm. The tide continues its gentle, hypnotic motion, carrying unseen worlds on its back as it folds and retreats, rhythmically, endlessly. You open your eyes, watching the far horizon shimmer faintly. Each wave now seems more deliberate, a slow statement of existence. You sense that the shoreline is not static, that even in apparent calm, change is occurring. New worlds revealing themselves, tides shifting, lights flickering in distant skies. And yet, this is not frightening. It is comforting. It is a reminder that the universe moves in ways both grand and intimate, patiently, invitingly, rhythmically. The tide begins to gather once more, pulling in a slightly heavier swell. You notice the patterns becoming more intricate, as if the ocean is preparing you for waves unlike any you have felt before. Your chest rises slowly with one deep breath. You sense that the next wave will carry not only new planets, but new experiences, textures, sensations that differ from this gentle, first introduction. And still, the ocean does not push. It does not hurry. You let your exhale stretch out, long and languid, as the tide carries a promise of things unseen. The strange waves roll forward, touching distant shores, hinting at worlds that defy expectation. You stand there, steady, calm, perfectly aligned with the slow rhythm of discovery, feeling the pulse of the cosmos in every gentle curl and retreat of water. Another wave begins to form, and you feel it calling softly, invitingly, toward shores you have not yet reached. You step forward into the tide, letting your feet sink deeper into the wet sand. The water is warmer here, a gentle warning, not a threat. You inhale slowly, feeling heat brush past your ankles, rising with each breath. The sun's distant warmth touches everything, diffused across the ocean of waves, yet not overwhelming. There is a strange comfort in this. The ocean carries fire in a quiet, rhythmic pulse, like a hidden ember under a blanket of waves. You notice the tide shimmering differently, thickening, curling with a gentle insistence. Something unusual is moving within it. You imagine a planet, vast and gaseous, gliding just above the warmth of a nearby star, its atmosphere flowing like molten silk. The heat is intense, yet you feel no fear. Your body settles into calm observation, chest rising, chest falling, perfectly synchronized with the undulating waves. You smile softly, realizing that even the most extreme environments can feel gentle when experienced slowly, intentionally. The ocean hums in response, a low, soothing vibration that seems to echo the planet's own motion. You feel the current brush past your legs, teasing, playful, carrying whispers of wind and light from faraway suns. The planet itself drifts lazily, stretched into a shape that defies expectation, yet conforms beautifully to its star's embrace. You breathe in deeply, imagining the flow of gases twisting and turning in slow arcs, delicate loops that fold over themselves like ribbons of flame. You exhale, letting warmth slide along your skin. It is strange, the sensation of a world so close to fire, yet so serenely moving. You laugh softly, a quiet, private sound, because planets have a sense of humor too. They orbit, they stretch, they shimmer in patterns that delight and surprise, entirely unconcerned with your presence, yet entirely available for your gentle attention. The tide shifts again, curling higher, carrying a sense of weight without pressure. Each wave mirrors the planet's slow orbit, rising, folding, retreating, endlessly. You feel the motion in your chest, in the hollow behind your ribs, a resonance that reminds you that rhythm exists even in extremes. Hot Jupiters, they are called, and you imagine the name whispered softly across cosmic distances, a secret acknowledgement that strangeness can be familiar if approached with patience. Warmth rises with your breath, mingling with the subtle scent of salt and distant light. You feel the ocean brushing against your knees now, heavier, denser, yet completely safe. The planet's atmosphere swirls, drifting in slow, almost hypnotic eddies, clouds folding over luminous storms that seem alive in a slow dance. You let your mind wander through these movements, imagining each puff of gas like a brushstroke of color on an invisible canvas. A tiny, playful bubble rises along your ankle. You giggle softly, thinking perhaps the ocean itself has a sense of humor. The planet spins gently, hugging its star, stretched in elongated arcs, yet perfectly balanced. You notice how nature often bends rules with grace, showing you that extremes are not chaotic. They are patterns, gentle rhythms waiting to be sensed. You inhale, letting the realization expand in your chest, letting it ride the waves, letting it sink into your body like warm water. The tide begins to shimmer with subtle flashes, reflections of distant starlight caught in the folds of foam. You imagine the planet's atmosphere, molten and drifting, catching light in waves of faint glow. There is no rush here, no urgency, only movement, only rhythm, only flow. You exhale, feeling the soft heat wrap around your legs, your torso, your chest, a gentle reminder that comfort can exist in extremes. You notice currents curling around your feet, tiny eddies spinning in miniature versions of the planet's orbital loops. The ocean seems to mimic the world above, an intimate reflection, a gentle echo. Your shoulders relax, your jaw softens. You are present, fully, entirely, carried by this hypnotic rhythm. Each breath matches the wave's motion. In. You feel yourself dissolving into the tide, yet perfectly grounded at the same time. A faint hum rises from the water, a resonance that seems both distant and intimate, You imagine the planet's interior, dense and roiling, quietly generating heat that flows outward, unseen but felt in the tender warmth brushing your skin. There is humor here too, a cosmic joke in the sheer audacity of existence. Planets flirting with fire while you watch peacefully from the shore. You smile, imagining the ocean itself winking in agreement. The tide folds gently, heavier now, more deliberate. You notice light bending across waves, refracting in soft, gold-tinged arcs. You picture the planet's clouds, molten currents drifting across illuminated skies, glimmering like flowing silk in a slow, precise ballet. Your chest rises and falls with the rhythm, each inhale a wave of understanding, each exhale a release of tension. You are safe. You are calm. You are part of this gentle cosmic observation. You lean slightly forward, toes curling into the sand as another warm wave slides past. The planet continues its orbit, perfectly patient, perfectly unhurried. The ocean mirrors its grace. There is a quiet lesson here. Heat, motion, intensity, these are not necessarily danger. They are characteristics. They are states of being. And you, watching calmly, are invited to witness without judgment, without haste, without effort. A faint sparkle of starlight reflects across the wave, catching your eye. You imagine the planet's upper atmosphere glowing, a soft, living light moving in harmony with distant solar wind. Tiny currents ripple across the ocean, synchronized with this glow, delicate gestures, invitations to notice and appreciate. You exhale slowly, letting your body follow the rhythm, a slow surrender into the calm, hypnotic embrace of cosmic warmth. You picture the immense gravity of the planet, anchoring itself to its star, yet the motion is surprisingly gentle, a slow push and pull that folds like the ocean tide beneath you. You inhale, chest expanding. You exhale, letting warmth and rhythm settle. There is no rush here, no urgency, only steady revelation. You feel the calm joy of being allowed to witness, to notice, to breathe alongside worlds so extreme, yet so elegant. Another small wave curls higher, brushing against your knees. The light refracts through the foam, soft glimmers dancing like fireflies. You chuckle quietly, reminded that even the universe can have a sense of whimsy, a gentle humor in the midst of heat and intensity. The planet drifts lazily, unconcerned, yet perfectly mirrored by the tide, which continues its hypnotic, rolling dance. You inhale once more, feeling the rhythm settle into every limb, every breath, every beat of your chest. The hot Jupiter spins in its orbit, the ocean folds, the waves rise and retreat. There is a lullaby here, a gentle song of extremes softened by patience, curiosity, and calm observation. You exhale fully, letting tension dissolve, letting awareness expand. The tide begins to thin slightly, cooler now, retreating in slow arcs, carrying warmth back toward distant shores. You notice that even as it pulls away, it leaves behind understanding. Soft, quiet, gentle understanding. You stand at the edge, toes in sand, chest rising and falling, and the ocean whispers that heat is only one way to be strange. Another wave begins to form. You sense its approach not as urgency, but as invitation. You breathe in slowly, preparing to follow, preparing to drift toward the next strange shore, the next chapter of discovery waiting just beyond the horizon. You step forward onto the sand, feeling the tide shift beneath your feet. The water is calm here, steady, reflecting light and shadow in equal measure. One side glows with warm, soft illumination, and the other drifts in gentle darkness. You inhale slowly, noticing how your breath rises and falls like the waves, steady, rhythmic, aware. There is no hurry. There is no need. The world before you simply exists, perfectly balanced, and invites your presence without insistence. You imagine a planet locked in place, its rotation harmonized with the pull of its star. One hemisphere basks endlessly in daylight, warm and bright, while the other rests in eternal night, cool and quiet. There is a poetry in this duality, a rhythm of extremes held in calm equilibrium. You breathe in, feeling your chest expand, and exhale, letting understanding drift through you like a slow wave reaching the shore. The tide around your ankles shifts gently, drawing patterns in the sand that mimic the division of light and shadow. You notice the faint shimmer of foam where warmth and coolness meet, a line that is neither hurried nor harsh, simply a delicate boundary. The ocean reflects the planet's calm dichotomy, its own surface folding in a slow dance that repeats with comforting predictability. You smile softly, feeling an odd kinship with the idea of balance in contrast. As your feet sink slightly deeper into the wet sand, you sense subtle air currents brushing past, carrying the scent of distant warmth and muted coolness together. The light side of the planet feels alive, breathing slowly through clouds and currents. You imagine these clouds drifting lazily across luminous skies, stretching into the dark side where shadows linger in soft folds. Each breath you take seems to sync with these atmospheric motions, inhaling warmth, exhaling cool, a personal tide matching the cosmic one before you. You notice the quiet patience of this tidal motion, how it teaches without rushing, how it shows stability without force. The ocean mirrors it faithfully, waves folding gently in accordance with unseen rhythms. You exhale fully, letting the calm settle into your shoulders, your spine, your chest. You are safe. You are grounded. You are witnessing the harmony of extremes without needing to change them. A gentle ripple carries a hint of warmth up your legs. You imagine the bright hemisphere of the planet radiating energy like a slow heartbeat, steady and unhurried. Tiny currents drift along its surface, moving with delicate persistence, shaping clouds, moving storms, forming patterns that are complex yet serene. You chuckle softly, imagining a storm taking its sweet time, perhaps sipping tea in the warm sunlight, utterly unconcerned with your observation. The dark side draws your attention now. It is not ominous. It is soft, inviting, restful. Shadows fold into themselves in quiet repetition, the atmosphere slow, deliberate, and comforting. You feel your own body begin to mirror this rhythm. Your inhale stretches with the calm, your exhale drifts with the slow fold of darkened waves. Contrast becomes soothing, extremes become companionship, and balance becomes a tangible presence you can sense in your own breathing. You take another step along the shoreline, letting the water curl around your ankles and knees. The interface between light and dark shimmers faintly, a meeting place where energies fold over one another. You imagine tiny eddies forming at this boundary, whispering secrets of pressure, wind, and subtle currents. The tide carries these whispers toward you, and you listen without effort, inhaling warmth, exhaling cool, letting the knowledge settle softly inside your chest. Your mind drifts gently to the idea that the planet's locked state creates a rhythm all its own. There is repetition, yes, but also individuality, subtle variations in atmosphere, slight shifts in cloud movement, currents bending under invisible forces. You notice how your heartbeat has adjusted to the soft pattern of the waves, the ocean's own rhythm matching the locked planet's quiet cadence. Every inhale and exhale resonates with the cosmic tide, a reminder that balance can exist without interruption. A tiny bubble rises along your ankle, breaking the surface in a glimmer of reflected light. You laugh quietly, amused by the delicate playfulness of the tide. The planet's extremes do not intimidate you. They invite your gentle attention. You are not separate from this experience. You are part of it, moving with the rhythm of warm light and cool shadow, part of a slow, unfolding story that the universe whispers with patience. You step slightly closer to the meeting line of light and dark, noticing clouds drifting lazily from day to night. They do not rush. They do not collapse. They fold over themselves with soft elegance. Your chest rises with one slow inhale. You exhale, feeling a quiet sense of awe settle in your shoulders. There is reassurance here. Extremes can coexist. Differences can harmonize. Stability can live inside contrast. The tide reflects this lesson as it folds inward, drawing patterns of shadow and glow across your feet. The water hums softly, a deep, soothing vibration that seems to echo the gentle tug of the planet's star on its hemispheres. You let your breathing synchronize fully, in and out, slow and even, feeling the rhythm in every part of your body. You are steady. You are calm. You are aligned with the duality before you. You imagine the dark side deepening, cool currents folding beneath clouds that move almost imperceptibly. There is no fear, only stillness, only awareness. Light and dark meet without conflict, flowing together like two hands gently clasped. The ocean mimics this calm merging, folding and retreating, a soft lullaby of balance, a reminder that coexistence can be gentle, patient, and elegant. A gentle wave brushes your knees as you lean forward slightly. The horizon stretches farther than you can perceive, the contrast between day and night folding into itself endlessly. You feel the weight of this balance settling into your chest, a soft warmth and coolness mingling inside. You inhale deeply, savoring the sensation, and exhale slowly, letting it drift through your body, a tide of understanding that does not demand comprehension, only presence. You notice the faint shimmer where the hemispheres meet, glimmering like liquid glass in the tide. Tiny currents spiral in quiet, deliberate eddies, a slow dance that carries the energy of extremes with gentle elegance. You smile softly, appreciating the patient choreography, the unhurried display of cosmic balance. The tide mirrors it beneath your feet, curling, folding, retreating, a hypnotic rhythm that lulls the senses and anchors the heart. Another inhale stretches your chest. Another exhale releases tension you did not know you were holding. The world feels calm, steady even in contrast, and you are part of that calm. You are aligned. You are present. You are breathing with the planet, with the ocean, with the slow, hypnotic rhythm of the universe itself. A warmer wave brushes your legs as the tide begins to fold inward, carrying light and shadow back toward distant shores. You sense that the next wave will differ yet again, heavier, denser, hinting at new forms of motion, new textures of experience. Your chest rises with one final inhale. You exhale fully, feeling the ocean and the planet, the tide and the sky, the balance and the extremes, all whispering softly. Another wave begins to form. You sense it without effort. It waits, patient, inviting, a gentle herald toward the next strange shore. And you drift with it, breathing, rising, falling toward what lies just beyond the horizon. You step into the tide once more, letting the water rise higher along your ankles. It feels denser here, like a soft weight pressing against your legs, gentle but undeniable. You inhale slowly, noticing the sensation ripple through your chest and spine. The ocean is heavier now, slower, deliberate. Each wave curls and folds with care, as though aware of the gravity beneath it. You exhale, letting the calm settle deeper into your body, anchoring you in place. The first super-Earth drifts into view, not flashy, not glowing with dramatic light, but present in a quiet, compelling way. It is larger than the worlds you have observed before, yet serene. Its mass is a gentle insistence, a reminder that weight can exist without urgency, that presence can be steady, anchoring, comforting. You breathe in, letting the idea settle. You breathe out, letting the sensation ripple through you like a tide moving over sand. The water curls around your knees now, cool yet firm. You imagine the planet's atmosphere pressing gently outward, vast and encompassing, flowing slowly across wide plains and mountains that fold into unseen valleys. You feel each fold as a subtle vibration beneath your skin, the tide reflecting it in rhythm, echoing it in soft waves. There is a quiet majesty here, not loud, not urgent, but expansive. You are safe. You are calm. You are allowed to feel the gravity of worlds without strain. You notice the ocean folding heavier now, carrying hints of distant heat and moisture together. The planet's surface seems to stretch endlessly, mountains rising like slow, breathing waves, oceans mirrored in the currents around your ankles. You inhale, imagining yourself tracing the ridges and valleys, floating along rivers of air and water that drift lazily across the globe. Exhale, letting your mind rest, letting your body mirror the slow, hypnotic cadence of the tide. A tiny wave splashes at your toes, playful, carrying a whisper of humor as if the ocean itself winks. You giggle softly, imagining the planet spinning, mountains shivering in invisible laughter, oceans rolling in secret amusement at your quiet observation. The world is enormous, yet gentle, its weight a constant, steadying presence that does not demand anything from you except your awareness. You feel oddly comforted, held by this slow rhythm, anchored in place by gravity and breath alike. The tide rises to your knees, heavier still, a reminder of the density of existence. You imagine the planet's inner layers, molten cores and slowly circulating mantles, producing a quiet, persistent hum. You hear it as a resonance in your chest, a soft vibration that carries reassurance. The world's weight is tangible, yet not oppressive. You inhale, letting it fill your lungs and settle in your belly. You exhale, feeling tension dissolve, letting yourself become part of the rhythm rather than apart from it. Above you, the sky glimmers faintly, reflected in the ocean's surface. You picture clouds drifting across the super-Earth, vast, layered, moving in deliberate arcs. Winds ripple along mountainsides, curling around peaks, folding over deep valleys. You notice these motions as subtle patterns, not equations, but sensations you can feel in your fingertips, in the soles of your feet, in the warmth that spreads along your ankles. You are immersed. You are grounded. You are present. A faint sparkle of light dances along the tide, catching your eye. You imagine the planet's oceans glimmering in slow swells, reflecting distant starlight in soft, muted rhythms. Your chest rises gently with inhale, and falls with exhale, flowing in perfect harmony with the rolling waves. You realize that size and weight do not mean chaos. They mean persistence, presence, the quiet poetry of endurance. You smile softly, feeling amusement bubble quietly at the idea of an entire planet being both immense and considerate in its behavior. The tide shifts again, curling higher, brushing warmth along your shins. You imagine the super-Earth's gravity bending the water subtly around its orbit, influencing subtle motions in the cosmos, all while remaining calm, patient, and unhurried. You breathe with it. Inhale, exhale. The planet's motion becomes a lullaby of steadiness, teaching you that extremes can coexist with serenity. The ocean reflects these lessons faithfully, folding and retreating, ever patient, ever gentle. You notice the weight of the world pressing softly beneath the surface, not as burden, but as grounding. Each inhale lifts your chest with understanding. Each exhale releases tension and worry. Mountains, oceans, and atmosphere are all felt as sensations, not numbers. You sense their presence in your body, in the pull of the water, in the subtle hum beneath your feet. There is no need to measure, no need to calculate. There is only perception, rhythm, and calm awareness. Another playful wave splashes against your knees, carrying a soft shimmer of starlight. You chuckle quietly, thinking perhaps the universe enjoys a little levity even in its grandest creations. The super-Earth drifts lazily, massive yet elegant, heavy yet soft, reflecting the ocean's own gentle pulse. You inhale, letting warmth and weight fill your chest. You exhale, feeling the subtle resonance echo through your spine. You are aligned with the motion, with the rhythm, with the slow poetry of this vast, quiet world. You lean slightly forward, toes digging into sand, feeling the water curl higher along your calves. The planet's oceans and mountains fold beneath clouds that drift like slow tides in miniature. Winds move in arcs that ripple across the globe with quiet grace. You sense them in the gentle pull against your body, the tiny push of water around your ankles, a hypnotic rhythm that grounds and reassures. You are present. You are calm. You are observing without urgency. A faint breeze brushes past, carrying warmth from distant light, mingling with the cooler notes of shadowed water. You notice how the tide mirrors the super-Earth's steady presence, waves curling, folding, retreating endlessly. You inhale, chest rising, exhale, chest falling, allowing the rhythm to settle fully into your body. The immense size of the planet is no longer intimidating. It is a gentle companion, a soft weight that anchors your awareness. You imagine the depths of the planet's oceans, water layered in quiet currents, endless yet measured. Mountains and valleys extend in slow arcs, unseen but present, folded into the planet's vast symmetry. You feel this order as a hum in your chest, a soft vibration that echoes the ocean beneath your feet. You smile softly, recognizing that scale can be comforting, that mass can teach patience, that weight can become a lullaby. The tide begins to draw back slightly, folding gently around your knees, carrying with it the subtle shimmer of starlight. You notice patterns forming in miniature, reflections of the planet's rotation, hints of distant currents and unseen mountains. Each wave folds into itself like a breathing organism, echoing the quiet majesty of the super-Earth above. You inhale fully, exhale slowly, letting the rhythm guide you. Let your body move in harmony with the cosmic pulse. A final wave brushes your thighs, heavier, warmer, carrying a sense of the planet's immense presence, yet softened by patience. You feel anchored, steady, comforted by the gentle weight that presses without demand. Another exhale releases tension, and you sense that the next wave will bring new textures, new forms, new cosmic whispers for your attention. Another wave begins to form, heavier, denser, more deliberate. You inhale, rising with it. You exhale, folding gently into its rhythm. And you drift, softly, patiently, toward the next strange shore, toward the ocean carrying worlds that are even stranger still. You step forward, and the shoreline begins to vanish beneath your feet. The water rises higher, cool and dense, wrapping around your ankles, knees, and now your thighs. You inhale slowly, feeling the pulse of the tide as it curls and folds. Your breath matches the rhythm of the ocean, slow and deliberate, a gentle wave of calm flowing through your chest. You are safe. You are steady. You are aligned with the rhythm of the world. The first glimpse of the ocean world stretches before you, uninterrupted by land, a seamless expanse of dark, reflective water. It moves differently than any shorebound tide you have known. There is no shallow edge here, no predictable curl. The water flows as if the planet itself has no boundary, no edges, only currents whispering secrets across a vast, invisible floor. You exhale, letting the enormity settle into your chest. Your gaze follows the faint shimmer of light reflecting across the surface, soft and diffused, distant stars mirrored in the liquid expanse. You imagine currents beneath the waves, slow and deliberate, folding beneath themselves in quiet arcs. These waters are deep, heavier than any tide before, yet gentle, measured, deliberate. You breathe in, inhaling the slow rhythm, and exhale, letting it ripple through your body, harmonizing with the currents you cannot see. You notice the faint hum of movement, a vibration that rises from the depths, subtle and persistent. It resonates in your chest, a quiet reminder of vastness, of hidden motion beneath the surface. You imagine the planet's interior, dense oceans shifting over unseen topography, moving slowly like ribbons of silk in darkness. There is no urgency here, no expectation. Only patient movement, deliberate and constant. Your feet float, your toes brush faint, invisible currents. You chuckle softly, imagining the oceans below swirling in secret choreography, planets moving in quiet harmony with themselves, entirely unaware of your observation, yet revealing just enough to soothe curiosity. The water is heavier now, pressing gently against your legs, reminding you that weight can be comforting when it is steady, consistent, and reliable. You notice how the surface reflects muted light, clouds above draping over the invisible waves beneath. You imagine the chemical dances hidden from sight, subtle exchanges that ripple slowly through the depths, imperceptible yet vital. You inhale deeply, sensing the movement as a soft vibration in your chest. You exhale fully, letting calm spread through your shoulders, your back, every muscle relaxing, carried by the gentle, omnipresent rhythm of the ocean. The tide shifts slightly, heavier now, and you feel the water curl along your thighs, moving in slow arcs. Each wave carries a subtle pattern of unseen currents, a rhythm that folds and retreats, rises and falls, endlessly repeating. You notice how your breathing syncs perfectly, a slow, hypnotic mirror of planetary motion. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. The repetition soothes, lulls, settles the mind into presence, into awareness, into wonder. A tiny bubble rises along your ankle, glimmering faintly as it breaks the surface. You smile quietly, imagining the hidden life of this planet, not living in hurried chaos, but in slow, deliberate cycles, currents folding over currents, movements within movements. The planet's oceans seem aware of themselves, not in consciousness, but in choreography, deliberate, patient, graceful. Your chest rises with one breath, falls with the next, floating with the rhythm. The water deepens, cooler and more reflective. You imagine the ocean extending downwards without interruption, unbroken. A planetary sea that folds over itself in slow loops. Currents spiral gently, carrying unseen minerals, gases, and slow chemical reactions, creating subtle patterns that stretch across vast, invisible distances. You inhale, sensing this hidden dance, and exhale, feeling the weight and beauty of it settle into your body. A faint shimmer of light moves across the surface, reflected from distant stars. You imagine tiny eddies forming just beneath, tracing delicate arcs, swirling in place, echoing the soft, repetitive motion of your breathing. The ocean hums quietly, a lullaby of movement beneath calm waters. You chuckle softly, a quiet, private acknowledgement of the planet's hidden humor, the playful elegance of currents dancing without attention, without urgency. The tide folds higher, brushing your knees, thighs, gently lifting your senses into alignment with the rhythm. The planet feels alive in subtle ways, motion without drama, depth without danger. You inhale slowly, feeling your chest rise with warmth and light, and exhale fully, letting calm seep deeper into your body. You are steady. You are safe. You are present, floating alongside this enormous, patient ocean. You sense the immense continuity, the way water folds and refolds, currents spiraling silently beneath unbroken surface, carrying subtle life and chemistry. Mountains or ridges hidden beneath might shape these movements, yet the ocean moves seamlessly around them. You imagine distant light penetrating faintly, illuminating a few inches of depth before vanishing into darkness, and you feel the patience in every fold, in every curl of water. Your chest rises again, inhale. Your chest falls, exhale. You notice how the repetition becomes a mantra, a soft chant echoing through the body and mind. Currents twist slowly beneath the surface, each a whisper of persistence, continuity, and calm. You smile softly, feeling that even without shore, even without boundary, there is order, pattern, and rhythm. There is beauty, measured and patient, carried in every wave and subtle motion. A gentle curl of water brushes along your knees, carrying faint shimmer and warmth from the distant sun. You imagine the deep oceans below folding over themselves, waves moving with deliberate care, a slow choreography that continues without pause, yet without urgency. You exhale, letting this realization sink into your spine, your shoulders, your chest, a lullaby of calm that anchors your mind. You picture the chemical interplay, hidden beneath the surface, slow reactions that ripple through currents, moving in gentle arcs, unseen yet profoundly present. The water presses softly around your legs, a reminder of steady weight, patient presence. The ocean hums quietly, echoing the planet's slow, deliberate motions. You inhale deeply, filling yourself with rhythm and depth. You exhale fully, letting calm, curiosity, and understanding fold together. A faint, darker wave rises from beyond your vision, heavier, colder, carrying hints of the unknown. You feel it brushing against your calves, a gentle reminder that the ocean is vast, that depth is more than visible surface, that discovery continues beneath what can be seen. You exhale slowly, letting tension melt, noticing the continuity of currents, the unbroken, patient dance of planetary oceans. Another wave begins to form, rising from the depths, carrying unseen motions, currents, and rhythms. You breathe in, letting anticipation and calm mingle, chest rising gently. You breathe out, letting the ocean fold beneath you, letting the invisible depths resonate through your body, guiding you toward the next horizon, the next strange shore, the next chapter of cosmic discovery. You step into the tide again, noticing a subtle shift beneath your feet. The water feels thicker here, richer, almost syrupy, yet still gentle. You inhale slowly, letting the sensation rise through your chest. The tide hums quietly beneath you, carrying warmth and weight, a slow, patient rhythm that mirrors the planet before you. The movement is steady, hypnotic, grounding. You are safe. You are present. You are part of this gentle observation. Above you, the sky glows faintly with unusual hues, soft amber mixing with muted gray, colors unfamiliar yet not unsettling. You imagine clouds forming from carbon, drifting in heavy arcs, dense but elegant, moving across the horizon with deliberate grace. The air feels different here, as though chemistry itself has texture, a subtle richness you can sense with your whole body. You exhale slowly, letting curiosity mingle with calm, letting your mind float alongside the unseen currents. The tide curls around your ankles, carrying the faint shimmer of starlight. You imagine the planet's atmosphere folding over itself, creating patterns and swirls that move like liquid silk. The clouds are thick, opaque, yet soft, and you notice how their motions ripple gently across the water's surface. The ocean seems to respond in kind, rising and folding in slow arcs, reflecting the strange chemistry above. You inhale, letting the rhythm enter your chest. Exhale, letting calm spread through your shoulders and spine. You notice a faint shimmer, subtle hints of unusual reflection, like a secret language embedded in light. The clouds drift lazily across the sky, carbon-rich and dense, but moving with grace, each swirl deliberate, measured, hypnotic. You chuckle softly, imagining the winds as tiny dancers performing a slow ballet, orchestrated in quiet harmony. The tide hums softly, a gentle echo of the atmosphere's motion. You are aligned with the rhythm. You are steady. You are aware, fully immersed in the slow, patient dance of alien skies. A small wave curls around your knees, carrying faint warmth and a hint of unfamiliar scent. You inhale, noticing the subtle richness, the texture of atmosphere as if it had weight and flavor. Exhale, letting the sensation ripple through your chest. You imagine the chemical interactions invisible to your eyes, flowing like quiet streams beneath the surface, producing clouds, currents, gentle motions that ripple across the entire planet. The tide mirrors this pattern, curling, folding, retreating, endlessly repeating. You step slightly forward, letting your toes sink into the sand, feeling the heavier water swirl around your feet. The carbon skies above shimmer in muted reflection, and you imagine dense clouds forming, flowing, folding over one another like layered ribbons. Each movement is slow, deliberate, precise. You inhale, sensing the quiet pulse beneath. Exhale, allowing the calm and wonder to expand through your body. You notice that the unfamiliar can be beautiful, elegant, and comforting. The tide rises gently, brushing your thighs, carrying a subtle shimmer of light. You imagine faint currents spiraling beneath the clouds, invisible but present, moving slowly, harmoniously. There is no urgency here. The planet does not rush. Its chemistry, its clouds, its motions exist in perfect, deliberate rhythm. You inhale slowly, chest rising, exhale fully, letting your body absorb the gentle cadence. You are part of it, connected to the slow pulse of this strange world. A tiny bubble rises along your ankle, glimmering faintly as it breaks the surface. You chuckle softly, imagining the ocean whispering secrets, playful, patient, inviting. The carbon-rich clouds above drift lazily, folding over themselves with hypnotic grace. You inhale, feeling your chest expand. Exhale, feeling calm settle deep into your spine. There is beauty here, not loud, not dramatic, but present in quiet, patient forms. You step slightly deeper into the tide, feeling the water curl around your knees, heavier now, dense but reassuring. You imagine the chemistry of the planet, reactions flowing slowly, currents intermingling like paint on a canvas, forming subtle hues, textures, and motions that the mind cannot calculate, but the body can sense. You inhale, sensing the hidden rhythms, the quiet persistence. You exhale fully, letting calm and curiosity fold together, creating a soft, hypnotic awareness. The tide shifts again, curling higher, brushing warmth along your thighs. You imagine the planet's clouds stretching across the horizon, forming arches of dense, carbon-rich air that moves slowly, almost thoughtfully. The waves beneath your feet respond, folding and retreating in harmony, reflecting the strange, unfamiliar hues above. You inhale deeply, letting the pattern resonate in your chest. Exhale slowly, letting your mind drift lightly with the gentle rhythm. A faint shimmer of light dances across the water, glimmering like scattered fragments of starlight caught in the folds of the tide. You imagine tiny eddies in the planet's atmosphere, slow spirals of carbon-rich clouds moving without hurry, perfectly synchronized with subtle winds and currents. Your chest rises with one slow inhale, falls with a long exhale. You are steady, aligned, immersed in the hypnotic flow of alien motion. The tide carries warmth along your legs, heavier now, denser, yet entirely safe. You imagine chemical reactions beneath the clouds, subtle, ongoing, flowing like quiet streams that ripple through the planet's atmosphere, forming shapes and patterns invisible but felt. You inhale, feeling the rhythm in your chest. Exhale, letting the calm expand through your shoulders, your back, your entire body. You are present, attuned, patient. You notice the strange colors reflecting across the water, muted reds and dark amber, soft and hypnotic. You imagine carbon clouds above twisting in slow arcs, currents folding over themselves, drifting endlessly across the horizon. The ocean mirrors the motion, curling and retreating in perfect, gentle harmony. You inhale slowly, exhale fully, letting the tide carry your awareness toward quiet understanding. Another wave brushes your knees, bringing faint shimmer, subtle warmth, and soft vibrations. You feel the planet's calm persistence in every fold, every curl of water, every gentle eddy of carbon-rich clouds above. You chuckle quietly, imagining the playful elegance of a world moving entirely at its own rhythm, indifferent to haste or worry. You inhale deeply, exhale fully, letting the rhythm sink deep into your chest and spine. The tide folds again, slower, deliberate, carrying with it the quiet elegance of carbon chemistry and alien skies. You are calm, present, and immersed, sensing the subtle patterns of motion that flow beneath the clouds and water alike. You exhale slowly, noticing the gentle glow of unfamiliar light reflecting across the surface, a soft, hypnotic shimmer that guides your awareness toward wonder without urgency. Another small wave begins to form, heavier, richer, yet gentle. You inhale fully, chest rising, exhale slowly, letting your mind drift with the rhythm. The carbon skies above fold and swirl. The ocean responds with patience, and you feel yourself carried gently toward the next horizon, toward the next strange shore, toward the chapter yet to unfold. You sit on the familiar sand, letting the water lap gently at your ankles. The tide rises and folds back, slow and deliberate, like the steady rhythm of your own breath. Inhale, chest rises. Exhale, chest falls. You are present. You are calm. You are aligned with the pulse of this vast, infinite ocean. The waves carry a quiet resonance, a lullaby that echoes every world you have touched and observed. Above, the sky stretches endlessly, a soft twilight folding into deep, patient night. You inhale, feeling the quiet presence of distant planets, rogue wanderers, and vast oceans reflected in the water before you. You exhale, letting tension slip from your shoulders, your spine, your mind. The universe no longer feels distant or strange. It feels patient, gentle, inviting. You are part of its rhythm, and it is part of yours. A faint shimmer glints across the surface, reflecting starlight from worlds far away. You notice how the tide moves without effort, rising and folding in arcs that mirror distant currents, sideways rain, and metallic clouds. Each wave is deliberate, carrying echoes of chemistry, motion, and rhythm from planets you have imagined, observed, and visited in your mind. You inhale, sensing these whispers in your chest. You exhale, letting calm deepen through every muscle. The water curls around your knees, cool and heavy, yet comforting. You imagine the hidden depths of alien oceans, the quiet pulse of super-Earths, the slow folds of carbon-rich skies. You breathe in the knowledge of their existence. You breathe out curiosity mixed with wonder, letting it settle softly in your body. Each wave brings a subtle resonance of worlds beyond your own, and each exhale releases tension, leaving calm in its place. A tiny bubble rises near your toes, glimmering faintly as it pops. You chuckle softly, imagining the ocean itself playing quietly, a subtle, private joke of nature. The tide responds, folding back and retreating with gentle arcs, carrying the rhythm of unseen currents beneath the surface. You inhale slowly, letting the motion rise in your chest. You exhale fully, letting the gentle calm settle deep into your spine, grounding you, reassuring you. You sit more fully, feeling the sand shift beneath your weight, the tide pressing softly against your thighs. You notice the faint hum of distant alien worlds, the hidden rhythms of rogue planets, the gentle folds of glass sands and metallic clouds. The ocean carries their resonance, blending them into the slow, hypnotic pulse of water, motion, and light. You inhale, chest rising. You exhale, chest falling. You are steady. You are immersed. You are part of the infinite rhythm. The tide rises slowly, brushing your waist, carrying warmth and shimmer across the water. You imagine sideways rain, carbon skies, and distant glass fragments, their presence now gentle, soothing, familiar. You inhale, letting each lesson fold into your chest. You exhale fully, letting your body relax, letting calm flow through every fiber. The universe no longer feels vast and incomprehensible. It feels patient, deliberate, tender. You are aligned with its rhythm. A faint glimmer of starlight dances across the water, reflecting the journey you have taken. You notice the pulse of currents beneath your feet, echoing unseen chemistry, hidden motion, gentle waves. Each breath you take mirrors these rhythms. Inhale, chest rises. Exhale, chest falls. Inhale, chest rises. Exhale, chest falls. The repetition soothes, lulls, and guides you toward complete presence. You are calm. You are safe. You are immersed. The tide folds around your knees again, heavier, denser, yet comforting. You imagine the hidden dance of rogue planets, super-Earths, ocean worlds, and planets without stars, all drifting in quiet patience. Their motions ripple gently through your awareness, soft vibrations in your chest and spine. You inhale slowly, chest rising with gentle rhythm. You exhale fully, letting the weight of understanding fold into your body. You are present. You are aligned. You notice the shimmer of light on the water's surface, subtle, delicate, reflecting fragments of distant worlds and skies. You chuckle softly, a quiet acknowledgement of the playful elegance of the universe. The tide mirrors the motion above, curling, folding, retreating in perfect harmony. You inhale, letting awareness expand across water, sky, and horizon. You exhale fully, letting calm settle deep into your body, into your bones, into your mind. The waves brush higher, gentle and deliberate, a quiet rhythm of motion and reflection. You sense the weight of all the worlds you have visited, the calm persistence of rogue planets, the unbroken oceans of distant planets, the sideways rain and metallic clouds, the shimmer of glass sands and carbon skies. Each element folds into your awareness, settling with hypnotic, steady patience. You inhale deeply, chest rising. You exhale fully, chest falling, letting calm envelop you entirely. You shift slightly, feeling the sand beneath, the tide curling softly around your legs. You imagine the infinite ocean extending in every direction, waves rising and falling, folding over themselves, carrying echoes of worlds beyond your perception. You breathe in, letting the gentle rhythm rise in your chest. You breathe out, letting tension release, letting calm settle deeply, softly, completely. A final wave rises, brushing along your thighs, carrying warmth, shimmer, and subtle reflection. You notice the water's rhythm, the echoes of distant currents, the slow folds of distant skies. You inhale fully, chest rising. You exhale fully, chest falling. You are safe. You are calm. You are aligned. You are immersed in the vast, patient pulse of the universe. Another wave begins to curl, patient, deliberate, hypnotic. You breathe in, letting it rise in your chest. You breathe out, letting it fold beneath you. The tide continues on its own, gentle, patient, endless. You feel the rhythm of infinite worlds, of oceans unseen, of skies unknown. You are present, calm, safe. Discovery has become rest, exploration has become peace. You inhale slowly, chest rising, exhale full.